Welcome to the pre-match show presented by the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Visit brianburts.com or call 915-751-1500.
It's now or never. El Paso Locomotive looking to make a playoff push, and at this time of the year, every point matters. In their way, Phoenix Rising. We have a great battle ahead of us tonight. USL Championship Soccer live from El Paso, Texas. Good evening and a warm welcome to El Paso. I'm Jacob Miles. To my left is Ivan Militar. We're so glad you could join us tonight for what should be an excellent match between El Paso Locomotive FC and Phoenix Rising FC. And Ivan, this has traditionally been a huge matchup in the USL Championship and one that everyone always circles on their calendar. And lucky for us, we get to call a really good rivalry tonight.
And you are right. This has been a good rivalry between these two teams. If you look at the regional matchups like New Mexico or San Antonio, and of course this Phoenix Rising game, I just feel like these games have extra intensity on them. If you look at 2020, when the two teams played a playoff game between each other and it ended up with penalties, or last year when Locomotive grabbed its first win ever in Phoenix, I feel like this is going to be a great matchup. On top of that, we are playing for high stakes. Locomotive needs to win to keep the playoff hopes alive. And of course, Phoenix Rising is trying to get a home game advantage in the playoffs. I think that this is going to be a great game. And
to your point, Ivan, this could be the most important match of the year for both teams. Locomotive is coming on a road trip where they picked up 4 of the 9 available points. A draw against a very good Orange County team and a clean sheet for El Paso. That's important to note since Locomotive had been conceding more goals than they'd like. So it looks like the defense is back to form. Then on a midweek game in Vegas, another shutout and the full 3 points. Then the third game in 7 days in Sacramento. El Paso has shut out opponents for 270 minutes, but at the death and stoppage time, a heartbreaker for a goal. As tough as it gets, but overall, much improved defense from El Paso.
Unfortunately, that's football for you. Sometimes you have the highest of highs, but it also comes with a heartbreak. But even with that late goal that we are purposefully not going to show you, there's been some positives. Noah Dolomeier, hard to miss him on the field, super tall center back, Loney, has been getting more and more comfortable in Brian Clarehout's system after joining the club less than a month ago. You still have Eric McHugh contributing at a high level. One would say he's playing the best football of his career. Benny Diaz keeps making saves, top 5 in the league. Unfortunately, this team has dealt with injuries and player availability just like all other teams have, but that's when people can step up. One of these people, one of these players, is the great Miles Lyons.
Absolutely. He's definitely a solid season for Miles, and a big congratulations to him after scoring his first career goal versus Vegas last Wednesday. It came off a great pass from Eric McHugh, who set him up perfectly. The composure from the 20-year-old takes his time and finds the back of the net. Plus a celebration from the guy who set him up on the assist. You know these guys have a great connection. And Ivan, this is a player you know well. You've seen him mature and develop ever since his time at the Barca Residency Academy to now a professional.
First of all, we are extremely proud of him. You love to see it. First goal of his career. What a huge achievement. He's such a great kid. Maz is working really hard, went into the offseason active, put on some weight, and worked on his craft. One thing that people don't know about him is his attacking mindset. He always wanted to be a forward, always great in 1v1 matchups, both on and off the ball. And of course, scoring the first goal, we want to see more of that.
And you're going to need another good performance from him and his teammates tonight as we take a look at the table. El Paso picked up those points on the road, as we mentioned before, but Locomotive did go through a rough patch that has now knocked them out of the playoffs. A reminder, the top 8 teams make it to the postseason, but Phoenix, on the other hand, has been in great form. They sit in 5th going into tonight and have won 4 of their last 6 with 2 draws. And that attack, it's been on. They put up 5 goals on Detroit City FC.
I'll tell you what, Phoenix Rising FC is in great form and playing great right now. They have Danny Trejo with 17 goals and Manuel Arteaga with 15. Those are the 2 key matchups on top, the forwards for Phoenix Rising. Both teams are really good on the ball. They are top of the league when it comes to passing accuracy. The good news is, though, Phoenix played on Wednesday, a 1-1 tie within the 11. Tonight's game is their 3rd in a week. El Paso comes in rested.
Who comes out on top tonight? A lot on the line, and 2 teams that are going to leave it all on the field. El Paso Locomotive FC versus Phoenix Rising FC coming up next.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome back to El Paso, Texas, and thank you for joining us as Locomotive FC takes on Phoenix Rising FC live from beautiful downtown El Paso. So let's get right into it. El Paso Locomotive FC with that new formation sees one change from Sacramento. Aaron Gomez is in for Zacarias. Miles Lyons scored his first goal last Wednesday against Las Vegas. It was the only goal of that match, and it was his first career goal. Ivan, what do you think about Miles Lyons scoring his first goal?
No, I mean, we are really happy for him. It's an unbelievable achievement for him, and you know, we are really excited to see. I'm saying we because I have a lot of friends and a lot of coaches that coached him before, and we are watching him.
Phoenix is always dangerous on the attack. Here's their lineup. Darnell King in for Henry Uzo, and Panos Armenakis in for Federico Varela. Cerberus is back intact. The top 3 of Trejo, Arteaga, and Armenakis back up front. Ivan, how do you think we deal with this front 3 of Phoenix?
No, Phoenix Rising's front 3 is the most dangerous in the league right now. They are really, really hot. Great players, and I'm really interested to see Armenakis.
All right, we're underway here in El Paso, Texas. This is one of the most important matches for El Paso this season. They definitely need a result. Phoenix already in a solid playoff position, but El Paso is currently in 9th, and we're looking to get back in the playoff position. It is a beautiful night here in El Paso, Texas. Great night for some USL football. Ivan, what do you think we need to do, or El Paso needs to do, to win this match tonight?
Well, first of all, they need to slow down Phoenix, right? Phoenix is a hot team in the USL Championship right now. Coming off for, I think, 6 games in a row that they unbeaten. You know, just a couple weeks ago they beat 5-0 in the 11 at home, sorry. They tied, so I mean, it's a team that really hard to beat right now. So they need to slow down Phoenix. And the second one is obviously create quality chances and convert them. El Paso Locomotive FC, with Brian Clarehout's tactical changes, they stabilized their defense and made sure that the bleeding is stopping. Obviously, there were some misfortunate games where too many goals went in. So I think that was the most important part in the last couple of weeks, to stabilize that defense. However, on the other side of the ball, they're not creating as many chances as they did before. They need to create more, and of course, we need to find players that can score those chances that are coming up. And then lastly, obviously, being at home.
Here's a great chance from Phoenix. Just wide, he's also offside.
Tough. So back to it, winning at home, right? The home matchup is not always the strongest for El Paso Locomotive. At home, 4-8-2 is the record. Away, 7-5-2. I contribute that to mostly because we like to counterattack a little bit. Yes, we are good on the ball and we have a high percentage of the ball possession, but what I've seen all year is that El Paso Locomotive creating the most chances and the best chances when they are on the run, when they're in the counter, winning the ball from the opponent and be as quick as possible with the players like Aaron Gomez or Petrovic. So as a result, I think winning at home, when we have the ball, it's a little bit more difficult than when we are on the counter. Maybe because Phoenix Rising is also very good with the ball. Maybe we can be in that comfortable situation where we can counter more.
Those were the keys of the game, brought to you by Casa Ford. So Ivan, El Paso has not scored a goal at home in the first 15 minutes of any match this season, whereas their opponents have scored 3 in the first 15 minutes. Is that an important thing to do to get started early and to hit them straight out of the gate?
I never forget when I played in college. I played at Old Dominion University, and there's a legendary head coach there, Alan Dawson, who is actually retiring this year. Every single game when we were preparing had critical moments. First 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes after you score, first 5 minutes after you get scored on, first 5 minutes of the second half. So these are critical moments that you have to manage well. Successful teams can manage these moments well. I'm watching the clock. We are 4 minutes in. So far, nothing really happened. Let's see if we can stretch that for 15 minutes, get comfortable with the crowd, make sure that we get the crowd into the game. I think that's very important today for the Locos. And then after that, let's see if we can create those chances.
Both teams have had a lot of success when they score first. When El Paso scores first, they are 9-4-0. And when Phoenix scores first, they're 11-1-4. So the first goal of the match is very important for both of these teams. Let's see if they can put pressure on Phoenix and get that first goal.
Yeah, you know, Jacob, it's funny because USL Championship is a league like that. When one team scores, the other team can sit back, and this is a transition league, is what we call. Transition league, again, the counterattack that I was just talking about. Everybody wants to counter, really. A lot of people and a lot of players and a lot of coaches say, no, we want to have the ball, but truly, they want to transition and they want to counter. As a result, whoever scores the first goal is at an advantage because the other team now has to play on the opposition's half, have to defend big spaces, and have to play in small spaces, and that's really difficult, especially because, as I said, all the teams are comfortable sitting a little bit back and countering.
A whole lot of possession football so far in this first 5 minutes of the match. How tiring is it for a defense to chase a team that's playing a lot of possession football?
Yeah, that's a good point, right? What I can tell you is that any league you look, almost any league, and that's 99% of any first division football in the world. The first 1, 2, 3 positions in each league table has the highest ball possession numbers, which means that most likely there's less injuries for those teams because they have the ball, they can control the tempo of the game. As you said, they don't have to run after the ball. As opposed to teams that are scrapping, trying to win the ball and trying to create chances from the counter. That's a lot of running and a lot of distance covered. So yeah, answering your question, it is tired.
Here's a promising attack for El Paso along the left side, trying to look for a cross inside, and he can't connect on that ball. Goal kick for Phoenix Rising. But is that promising for El Paso for that first start?
Yeah, you can see it right now if you take a good look. Even though, you know, some of the paperwork that we got before the game said that we're gonna play El Paso Locomotive, gonna play in the 4 in the back. It clearly shows that it's a 3 in the back. Petrovic got the ball on the left side. He's, I think, one of the top players 1v1 in the league. And in possession, he's able to move up a little bit and play left winger. Without the ball, right now, he's playing as a left wing back. But in possession, he's one of our best weapons 1v1.
How do you manage his endurance then if he has got to play all the way up front on attacking, but then also track back to play defense?
I don't have the stats on it, but he's getting subbed off quite a bit because of that.
Got it.
We need to take a look at on the 60th minute. Let's see how he handles himself because a lot of times it's the most tiring position.
Phoenix Rising building the attack here on the left side. Shot deflected. And El Paso has it comfortably now in defense. Brian Clairhout really intent on showing up that defense, but here's in the counterattack. Paso with it. Oh, no, can't get it. Good effort, though. Again, that's Kostishin up front. Sorry, that was Knudsen with the ball. Knudsen, one of our newest Locomotive players. How do you see him in his first few matches that he's played on the road? This is his home opener for El Paso.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to Brian Clairhout, our head coach, multiple times actually, about him. He thinks the world about him. He's a very creative player from Faroe Islands. He's expecting a lot. We are missing some goals. Obviously, Lucho is not in the lineup, and he's the one that usually takes care of the goals for us. I do believe that he has a lot to show because the first couple games wasn't the way that he wanted it. Let's see if next to Aaron Gomez can he pull out some magic from his hat.
Knudsen playing up front with Gomez. That was one of the changes from their last match against Sacramento. And here we go, Adon Gomez with the ball, surrounded by a plethora of Phoenix Rising defenders. And again, they regain possession. Phoenix, I felt, was quite frustrated in their last match on Wednesday against Indy 11. It took them a long time to break down that defense. Is that something that El Paso can kind of bank on? There's an errant ball that goes out of bounds, and it goes out for a deep throw.
Yeah, we saw Indy 11 here in our stadium a couple weeks ago, right? And we saw that they are not easy to break. They are a very good team, full of veterans. So Phoenix Rising had a tough matchup against Indy 11. The longer this game gonna go 0-0 and maybe a tied game and you know, just back and forth, not really chances, the better it is for Locomotive. Because then again, they can settle into a little bit of a counter-attacking game and see that, you know, maybe after the 75th minute, a set piece or something like that can come up and get the winner.
Phoenix trying to break down El Paso's defense. It's been tough going so far. One chance out wide and not much else going for Phoenix. Trying along the right flank now. Again, Petrovic now in that left back, wing back position. Phoenix now trying the interior. And again, just swarmy defense from El Paso. Brian Clare really got to be pleased with how the defense has really gelled in the past 4 or 5 matches. Compared to the last time El Paso played Phoenix, that was a 5-0 loss for El Paso. Completely different feeling from that match back in mid-August.
Yeah, you know, the personnel changed. Now Dolomeyer is in. The left-sided center back, number 15 on the field. And Eric McHugh had to take on a more prominent role. That was that time when Ben Sapavkovic left. And I think Brian and also the team needed a little bit of time to find the new formula and the new formation. Around that time was the formation change as well, with the 3 in the back, going from 4. So I think that played a big part in that.
That ball goes into touch. Again, not much in it for either team. We're already 10 minutes into this match. Seems like it's flown by already.
Yeah. When you're having fun, right?
When you're having fun.
One thing I think it's interesting to see, I waited for 10 minutes to see this, but the front 3, and we're talking about the front three, sorry for the language barrier here.
Right.
So Arteaga, Trejo, Armenakis, they are usually the ones that are playing inside, more inside than usual, and not.
Oh, he's got a wide in the front. That's a great ball for Benny Diaz. Give and go! Oh, just wide right. Oh, that was well worked. Benny Diaz with the vision to hoof that all the way down the field. I believe that was Adon Gomez with that first touch, giving and going. Let's see the replay here. Ivan.
I can't tell you how many times I missed this because of Benny. Benny does it so unexpectedly. It's unbelievable with his speed. Fantastic distribution from Knudsen and from Aron. That should have been a goal, I'm not going to lie.
Aron with a great first touch, and then giving going with Knudsen. Oh, you're right, that should have been the first goal, and that would have been perfect. The dream start for El Paso. There's another ball for Phoenix, but he's offside. Flag is raised up. That was their talisman, Arteaga, in the middle. El Paso has to be careful. How do you ensure that your defensive line is perfectly straight so that you have that offside trap that works every single time?
Well, as I said, what's interesting about Phoenix Rising is the front 3 guys, Trejo, Armenakis, and Arteaga, they play inside. So even though they are wingers per se on paper, maybe except Dani Trejo, they play inside in the interior spaces, which means that our Locomotive's back 3 has to match their front 3. And that's a really difficult situation because if just one player, let's say Dolomeyer, steps out a little bit late, that leaves a hole behind them, and Dani Trejo is very good at exploiting those spaces. So it's really difficult to keep the line straight, but also being able to step out to the underneath space.
Coming into tonight's match, Trejo was actually tied for most goals in the league. Arteaga is not far behind in 3rd. and Armenakis is leading in assists. So those three players just gel so well together, and it's been a nightmare for defenses for the past few months, and that's why Phoenix has literally risen from the ashes of the standings and now up to mid 4 or 5 in the table on the Western Conference side. They're in a solid playoff position, but they're gunning for that 4th spot to get a home field advantage for the first round of the playoffs. El Paso is going to have their work cut out from those back three. That time was not offside. That was Harvey that came in. Ball's bouncing around in the box. El Paso needs to deal with it. And a foul on Arteaga there.
Arteaga is the bigger guy. He looks a little bit heavier when you compare him with Trejo and Armenakis.
Absolutely. Benny Diaz, let's talk about him. He actually has an assist on a goal, and I believe he's the only keeper in the entire league to have an assist. Here's a dangerous back pass, but Benny deals with it well done. He's the only keeper in El Paso Locomotive history, actually, to have an assist.
No surprise there. Unbelievable with his left foot. If anybody's watching Manchester City and Ederson, it's comparable. Some people might laugh at that, but his left foot is comparable to that.
Here's Phoenix on the attack now. Along the left side looking for a cross. Oh, that's a well give and go. Benny Diaz with a great hands that time. El Paso cannot let Phoenix get in that deep, though. That was Munjoma that got in deep. But Benny Diaz with a good save. Ivan, what happened here?
Yeah, 2v1 on the side. Numerical advantage for the Phoenix Rising left side. Traore is a good player as left side center back, defensively as well. And as a result, then Manjuma thinks that and feels that he can go up pretty bravely. And that's a big advantage. When you have somebody like Traore behind you, you feel like you can go, and that's what happened this time.
We're now entering the 16th minute of this match, and this is where El Paso has scored 5 goals in their entire season at home. Their opponents have not scored in this part of the match. Let's see if El Paso can capitalize. Here's Calvilla with ball. Oh, that's a great ball inside! Oh, good save by Rocco. Rios Novo, well done, and he's quick outlet. That's just like Benny does along the right side. Can Phoenix counter? Dolmeyer's back alone on that left side. Phoenix has it, but I think that's a good transition defense from El Paso getting back and stymieing that and forcing almost an error on the right touch side. Phoenix trying to probe El Paso's defense. Not there, says McHugh, well done. Ivan, what do you think about that chance?
Yeah, again, Aron or Knudsen, I haven't seen the replay. Maybe it was Aron. Calvillo was really good at bringing the ball up and dribbling it up and try to find that little hole between the defense. Calvillo, the closer he is for the opponent goal, the better it is for El Paso Locomotive. He's a very dangerous player when it comes to giving assists and even scoring. But it's good to see Knudsen and Aaron Gomez being dangerous early on. This partnership has some potential, it looks to me.
El Paso needs that partnership to blossom if they're going to get out of 9th spot. And there's a late foul on El Paso. That'll be a free kick for Phoenix, but not quite in a dangerous spot.
Creating and converting chances, right? Keys of the game.
That's exactly right. So we're talking about the keys of the game, and here's one of those chances that you talked about, Ivan.
Yeah, it was Aron. No, it wasn't. It was Knudsen. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to a partnership, right? Aron stayed wide. He didn't make that move. Both players saw that the room is behind that defensive line, and instead of Aaron Gomez running the same place as Knudsen, stayed, which took away one more defender, which created a position for Knudsen to run into. Maybe I felt that he could have gone around the goalkeeper, maybe take an extra touch and then finish. But again, it's very positive and good to see that they are getting some chemistry, some synergies together.
How long does it take to get spacing like that down between you and a forward partner like that?
Long time, especially on this level. Knudsen just joined the team, I don't know, a month ago or so. Played in a very different country, an entire different country, a very different style. Faroe Islands, I actually watched a lot of Faroe Islands club teams and the national team too, because my home country, Hungarian clubs and the national team plays against Faroe Islands a lot. They are countering a lot, so Knudsen is good in the transition. He should be very good in the transition. But getting together with Aron, very different type of player. I think it will take some time, but again, positive steps so far.
Phoenix trying to break down El Paso's defense again along the left side. They've been attacking that left flank for most of this first half. But El Paso's there to stop that. Along that right side is Mark Navarro and Eric McHugh kind of playing in the center back. So let's see if they've seen anything in the tape to suggest that those are two players that they can exploit to try and get a goal. Oh, that's a dangerous touch. Offside flag goes up. I think everyone expected that to go up, and it was.
The second one, definitely.
Yeah, already a few offsides for Phoenix, and so that line from El Paso is doing its job and staying intact. The problem is, can they do that for a whole 90 minutes? And that's such a difficult thing to do mentally, physically. There's a lot of communication involved.
Again, as I said, the longer the game is going to go like this, where it's not immense pressure from Phoenix, I think there's going to be more opportunities for El Paso to go forward. And the game is very complex. When one team attacks a lot, the defenders can relax a little bit. So we need to create, El Paso Locomotive need to create some chances in order to release the pressure that is on the defense, as you said. But I also think that the more that Phoenix cannot score, the more confidence that El Paso Locomotive can get from it.
I think you're exactly right. And their defense has just been such a much improved defensive unit from that Phoenix 5-0 loss the last time they played. I think if they can frustrate Phoenix, then they may start to do things that there's not in their natural tendencies to do. Here's along the left flank, another attack. There's a cross. Blocked by Navarro. We just talked about him right now. Right back. Well done, son.
Tell you what, Monjuma came in ready to play.
Monjuma's been a shining star for Phoenix recently. He's been playing really, really well. Also, Harvey came in for a suspended Phoenix Rising player, and he actually scored their goal on Wednesday. He came in for Zambrano, who's on his so many yellow cards that he was suspended 2 matches. That first match was against Indy. This match, he's also suspended against El Paso. Harvey came in, and he's done a wonderful job, scored that goal against Indy 11. He's going to be a player that you have to watch for El Paso. Oh, that's a good ball. Petrovic, again, from his right back position, playing way high up the pitch. And he's got a throw in. From this position, Ivan, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, he's a left wing back, left winger type.
That's a great give and go. Oh, well tackled there by Phoenix.
Yeah, he's best 1v1 player we have on the field.
Right.
Unbelievable, right? On top of that, he's inverted because he's a right-footed player playing left back, left wing back, so he can cut in. We saw those moments a lot. He scored, I think, 2 or 3 goals this year like that. So he's a very interesting player. This new formation about the 3.
That's a good ball cut across.
It's not necessarily serving him because he's more of an attacking player than a defensive one. But so far, he's been putting in good performances from that side.
Well, that's a great first touch by Petrovic, but dispossessed. And now Phoenix on the counter, trying to come up with something. Again, El Paso, great job rotating back. That's a well-run ball down in midfield. You have to have that. Miles Lyons, you actually taught him at the Barca Residency Academy. What is it about Miles that makes him such a special player?
Such a competitive kid. I mean, unbelievable kid. He was written off by so many people so many times. He's an underdog. This is a classic underdog story. I always felt, and you know, now it's easy to say because he's actually a professional, but I always thought that and felt that he can be a professional later in his career. He's that prototypical right back, hardworking, has the spacing, has the speed, dynamic player, and has a smell to the goal. I mean, he loves to be in front of the goal. He loves to be in front of the goal. In training sessions, I never forget, we always had to yell at him to, hey, come back, you're not a forward. He likes to explore spaces, and here, how he recovered the ball, you can see that. He got the ball back in the midfield. He's a winger, right wing back. What is he doing there? He's interpreting the situation, he's adjusting to what's going on the field, and he's not locked down by his role, which, again, is a major positive when it comes to professional football.
will you see Miles as high up the pitch as you'll see Petrovic?
Yeah, that's interesting, right? I mean, we saw Miles scoring a goal in Las Vegas. So the easy answer is yes, you will.
Okay.
But at the same time, you can see it right now. He's a little bit lower than Petrovic. Don't forget, Mark Navarro is also a right back, really. Played right back for a long time in this season as well. So Mark Navarro can step out to that area and kind of have that weird right back role, right? Because they have 3 in the back, 2 wing backs. Sometimes that back line shifts. So it depends on what we call it. You know, it's not so easy to call them positions because they interchangeable and they're always changing. But I do think that Miles is a little bit more conservative compared to Petrovic. Great job by Knudsen.
That's a great back heel by Knudsen. Adam Gomez back to Knudsen. Forces Rios Novo off his line, out of his box to clear that one. And now Paso's back 3 playing much higher up the pitch. Dolomeyer's already at midfield. Do you want them that high up the field, given that Phoenix can counter really easily?
But that's why you have 3 in the back, right? And that's what Brian, I think, envisions when he's sleeping at night thinking about the game, right? I think that's why Dolomeyer is important. That's why McHugh is important. That's why Navarro is important. These players can give the stability and also at the same time can give the freedom to Miles Lyons and Petrovic to go forward. You think about it as a shifting back line. If the ball is on the right side, Miles can go higher. If the ball is on the left side, Petrovic can go higher. That's how kind of it works.
Now, one thing I did want to ask you, Ivan, is this goal kick formation that you're seeing a lot of in world football, where you have everyone, they like to play out of the back instead of back in the day when the goalkeeper would just hoof it down the field like our founding fathers did. Why do teams like to play from the back now versus just hoofing it and trying to get it in midfield?
Fantastic question. There's a lot of conversations about that these days in modern football.
Is that something to do with analytics?
Yes, it is actually purposeful, right? It is all about the advantages on the field. Where's the numerical advantage? AKA, where do we have more attackers than defenders? Everything about what you're seeing, the passes, is searching for that advantage. And when you can build up from the back, logically, you will have the advantage further away from your own goal. So you play short passes so the opponent can come and then find the advantage closer to the opponent goal and further away from your own. That is the purpose.
Well, that makes a lot of sense when you explain it like that.
And of course, you know, don't forget when you are just, as you said, with your own words, hoofing the ball up, that's a 50-50. It's actually called a 50-50.
Right.
Second balls, you might win it, you might not. The ball is round, bouncing everywhere.
Oh, dangerous ball. Locomotive have it. Oh, that's a great recovery by Rios Novo. A bad loss there, but he recovered well.
If you're doing the build-up bad like that, then you might allow the opponent to create chances.
Yes, exactly right. And Phoenix got in trouble a couple of times against Indy Living, trying to play the ball from the back in a kind of willy-nilly fashion. So that's why I asked, is that something that analytics tells you it's much more productive to come from the back instead of just hoofing it to mid-pitch?
But these days, there's data on everything. There's data points on where do you win the ball or where do you start the first pass in order to create chances. Some teams know that, you know, the opponent that they're playing is really good at building from the back. But also data can show that they are really not and making a lot of mistakes. And so they can press high. That's how they decide on what they're going to do. For El Paso Locomotive, as you can see it right now,
they're just so comfortable playing the back like that.
Extremely comfortable.
Benny Diaz is way out of his box.
He's the extra person, right? Usually you are thinking about like, okay, so you have, you know, front 3 versus a back 5, so we have 2 people advantage.
Right.
No, we have Benny Diaz, one more.
Here's McHugh coming all the way from the back, joining the attack. Calvillo with it. Look inside. Oh, good save by Rios Novo. Well done. But Eric McHugh, center back, coming all the way up the pitch, joining that attack. Calvillo midfield. Here's a replay of that. Ivan, what happened here?
Yeah, Calvillo's a righty, takes a good touch inside. I would have loved him to go far post, not to the near post. To be honest, that was a bigger chance than what it looked like, but it ended up being. Calvillo, again, I repeat myself, Calvillo is excellent in front of the goal. For the longest time in this season, he played a little bit as what we call a holding midfielder. I would like him to be closer to the goal, and I think him too, and Brian as well.
So what adjustments do you have to do to kind of enable him to be closer to goal? Or is that just something he has to do on his own?
In the beginning of the season, El Paso Locomotive played a 4-4-2, okay? Which means if you think about it in your head, that means two midfielders in the middle. That is not enough, because a lot of times opponents like Phoenix have 3. I talked about the numerical advantage just minutes ago. So, which means that if you play 2 versus 3, it's going to be really difficult for you to leave your position because now it's only 1. Imagine midfield only with 1 player. That's not enough. So Eric had to play a lot more conservative and a lot more protecting the back line. Now, with a little bit of a change where we have Liam, Kostishin, and him in the middle, now he has the freedom to go a little bit more and maybe leave his position a little bit more bravely. Which allows, again...
Because he knows he has that coverage behind him.
100%.
Got it.
It's more, the structure is more stable this way.
Got it. Well, it's been a very exciting first half hour. El Paso very positive, and that's exactly what you want to see here. And again, frustrating Phoenix. There's another long ball that just ends up in touch. If you just joined us, this is Jago Miles with Ivan Militar live from downtown El Paso, Southwest University Park. This is a must-win match for El Paso. Phoenix really wants this win to solidify their chance of getting a home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So far, it's been a great up and down match. El Paso playing really positive. Phoenix has been frustrated, but they have bent, not broken. And they're looking at counter chances here along the left side. They've been attacking the left flank a lot this first half, but Mark Novato's done well to stymie those. McHugh and Dolomeyer both in center have done a great job, and now they're trying the right side. Cross inside. Oh, it's just wide to the left, and that's the danger that Phoenix has.
Navarro wasn't expecting the cross, and if I see it right, Arteaga was able to get in front of him and kind of wrestled him down on the way up. It wasn't a foul, but certainly a little bit more assertiveness from Navarro would have been welcome.
One my order with that cross, he's a right back, and so he's playing up the pitch too.
Yeah, even though he did well, I mean, he did enough where the header wasn't clear.
But that's definitely alarms for El Paso. They cannot let that happen. They need to keep a clean sheet, and Benny Diaz has done a great job with clean sheets so far in the past few matches. El Paso definitely needs to keep that up.
Yeah, Brian mentioned that right before the game, that he's happy with the clean sheets. Yeah, the defense looks good, but again, the game is complex, so if you don't... Wow, he almost kicked his head on the way down. That was awkward. But so if you don't create chances enough, your defense will crumble, and at the end of the day, it's not going to be the defense's fault that, you know, lets a goal in because there was just too much pressure.
Oh, what a save by Rios Novo. That's well done. That was a great shot for El Paso.
I was waiting for Aaron to follow that up. Aaron Gomez is a predator. He's amazing when it comes to reading rebounds, the little knacks on the ball. I was waiting for him to tap that in.
Here's Kasishin's opportunity. Kasishin leads the team in shots for El Paso. And they're back on the attack again. Again, Petrovic from his left back position, way up high. That's a great movement, a great cross. Shot! Oh, it's just off the post!
Aaron Gomez again.
Aaron Gomez! Wow. Getting in there, great opportunities.
Petrovic.
This goes to your keys of the game. Create quality chances and convert. They're creating quality chances, but they're not converting.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen Aaron Gomez hit the woodwork this year. Maybe this is his 5th or 6th. I need the statistics on that.
I'm not sure if USL keeps stats on that. They probably do.
That's unbelievable. Now, Petrovic shows the inside. Again, inverted wing back.
Exactly what you said.
Tucks inside, shows that he's going to score with his right foot or shoot with his right foot. The defender bites, takes it back to his left. It's a bad shot, really. It wasn't meant to be a pass. But again, Aaron Gomez, who anticipates extremely well, kind of stumbles into it, hits the woodwork. Very unlucky.
Here's another chance for Phoenix, though. Well defended. All right, Ivan, here's a replay on that Aaron Gomez play. Let's take a look at what happened here. Wow.
Petrovic.
So you think that was a cross, but you think that was a miss?
No, that's like I mean, if you ask But
that
he might say like, no, I meant that.
Okay.
I mean,
That's why we're not asking him.
He's forward-minded. He wants to score. Now, at the same time, he definitely wanted to shoot it across to the far post, knowing that maybe somebody's gonna stumble into it. So it's not necessarily. It wasn't a selfish play, but certainly wanted to shoot the ball.
In most sports, when you get balls in front of the goal like that, in traffic, anything can happen. It can bounce around. We've seen that so many times in the USL, where balls just pinball across the box, and eventually they end up in the back of the net. McHugh was unfortunate recipient of one of those deflections, and it just happens across all football matches, and now that's a bad turnover by McHugh. Phoenix Rising with a 3-on-2. Oh, well done, Dollemeyer getting back, and defense. Slipped, but he's still up there. Well done, Dollemeyer. Phoenix still with possession, though, still trying to sniff out this attack, now on the right flank. That's Fuenmayor. Oh, that's a great cross, but a great comeback from the defense to block that shot. Was that Miles Lyons, or was that someone else in the deflection?
Either him or Navarro. These 2v1s on the wide areas, really difficult to defend.
There's a throw-in for Phoenix, but here's a look at that last play. Ivan, what happened?
That was
Navarro with the block.
And Monjuma on the other side. Wing back to wing back action.
Monjuma seemed to have a great match. That's offside. Offside flag is up.
It looked like it was on target. That might have went in.
But Navarro with the block, that was well done. Had to scramble back from that great cross. El Paso's defense, again, we'll harp on it all night long. Vladi Kerhard says the defense is so much better, and it shows. That was a great scramble from a very difficult possession.
That was the biggest chance for Phoenix so far.
Absolutely. And it's come 35 minutes into the match.
I'm checking the live stats of the expected goals, and you know, I felt that Locomotive had more chances. I'm still waiting on the adjustment of seeing how much this last chance is going to be worth, because it was, what, from 10 yards away? A clean shot. So it might be now close to equal, but 0.4, around 0.4 for El Paso and 0.1 for Phoenix Rising. I'm interested to see how it's going to end up in the halftime, but I think that it's an exciting game so far. Both teams are open and trying to score goals. Very unlucky both ends.
3 shots on target for El Paso. That's a big number, especially in only half an hour of this match.
This is where El Paso needs to be very, very careful. A lot of rotations going on the opposition's half. Turnover and the counterattack is set for Phoenix Rising. And this is where you need to be really careful with Dani Trejo, Arteaga, and Armenakis. I don't know how many times we're going to say these 3 names. So far, I'm not going to lie to you, Armenakis has been quiet. Dani Trejo has been a little bit more active. Arteaga has been the most active, but I think out of those 3, he's the least quality. He's very quality, don't get me wrong,
right,
but he's the least of the 3. So I think for Phoenix, that might be a thing of, can they get Armenakis more on the ball?
Is that going to be something they talk about in halftime?
Certainly.
Try and get him the ball more. Okay, here's a free kick opportunity for El Paso. What do you see right here?
Yeah, it's
we
far
have
away.
Navarro on top of it,
Yeah,
also with Petrovic. Who do you think is going to take this one?
And
Dollemeyer's up there too now.
Yeah, Navarro is really good. I think it looks to me that Navarro is walking away. Now there's 3 in the wall. I have no idea why would the goalkeeper put 3 in the wall. 4? It's almost 4. From my angle, I can't see because of the referee. Probably 3. That's, I mean, too many players in the wall. So I really hope that that's because he's scared. Maybe he's gonna stay behind the wall, the goalkeeper. This is ambitious from Petrovic.
Aaron Gomez is behind that wall in offside position. Let's see what he is. If he's a decoy, or if he scoots back up, back onside. Navarro and Petrovic both standing over it. It's going to be Petrovic taking it. Shot! Just wide left. Is that a good effort in your opinion, Ivan?
Too far, right? It's too far. It's an awkward distance. You want to try it, but it's not easy. I mean, you need to be world class from there to score.
Possession is almost 60-40 in favor of Phoenix. But El Paso's definitely had more chances, more shots on target, and it seems like if that holds, Phoenix hasn't had a shot on target yet. Oh, here's an opportunity for one, but no, Benedia's off his line quickly, very well done, but no outlet.
These numbers are comfortable for Locomotive. Even though, once again, Locomotive is one of the best possession team in the league. That's not necessarily because they want to have the ball as much. They are very comfortable on the counter. The thing is that they have better players than the other teams, and the other teams letting them have the ball. And so I think today Phoenix Rising takes the dominance through the ball, and Locomotive can be on the counter, which is once again very comfortable. I think Brian Clarehouse can be very happy with how the first half has been going.
Knudsen's still down behind the play. Phoenix plays on. And here they come. Oh, well done.
Dani Trejo.
Trejo sniffing, trying to get something going. Has not so far. Armenakis now with the ball.
Yeah, see, this from
Yeah.
Armenakis is very passive.
He didn't even make a look at goal. His first instinct there was to pass it back to his defenders. When Maillard again, right back coming way up the pitch. Phoenix trying to probe El Paso's defense, but they can't seem to get anything done.
Look how close the front three is for Phoenix. All three is in the central channels. The interactions is very important. How many times can they interact between each other? The moment when they are far away and they cannot find them, especially Armenakis, look, he's further away from the other two.
Okay, what do you see about Darnell King, though, way out wide by himself? Is that something that you need to look at for El Paso?
Yeah, that's what we'll call fixating the opponent, right? So the right wing back fixating Petrovic, so Petrovic cannot help Dolenmeyer with Armenakis.
Oh,
so they're taking their chances. They say, okay, pass the ball to Armenakis, and Dolenmeyer, who is 6'4", a giant. Armenakis, a technical player. One would say the most technical player in USL Championship. They will take those chances.
Dennis Kostichin's just been booked in the 41st minute. That's the first booking of the match. It's been a clean match.
Yeah, not many fouls, I don't think.
Locomotive, the only team in the USL Championship that has not had a red card all season long. Very disciplined team in terms of bookings and in terms of expulsions.
Only 9 fouls, that's barely anything. Very clean game.
It's been a very clean game, very well played by both teams. Truly in the spirit of good football, and that's what we like to see. Here's a great cross inside. Well headed out. McHugh with that initial header, which is interesting considering Dolenmeyer is about 10 feet taller than McHugh. And a foul, and relieves the pressure, and you can just see the frustration on Phoenix's face right now. They're not getting the type of offense that they're used to getting.
That's why you have 3, not 2. If there would be 2 center backs right now, that ball might have been flying over McHugh's head. Because they had 3, they can be more safe when it comes to against crossing situations.
So if you're Juan Guerrero, what changes do you make at halftime to try and get Armenakis more involved, to try and get Trejo and Armenakis like kind of clicking?
I think ball circulation is a problem for Phoenix Rising. Even though they have the ball more, there's not enough penetrating progressive passes. If you look at it, just follow the ball, right? It's going like a U shape. It's going around and round and round from left wing back to right wing back. Center back sometimes tries a pass upside. It doesn't work. Then they try again. They go round and round. The first progressive pass giveaway. So that's an issue. Issue for Phoenix. Big compliment for El Paso, who is able to lock down the central areas. Again, this is high-level football, right? They scouting each other. They know that Dani Trejo and Armenakis is playing in the inside channels. What's going to be the challenge for Brian and the Locomotives is to keep the structure up. Just because they have 40% of the ball, don't get tired, still be structurally in the center and close down those passing lanes towards those players.
We played 42 minutes. Is this a point where if you're Brian Clarehouse, you may want to push to get a goal right before halftime?
Critical times.
It is.
Last 5 minutes of the half.
When El Paso leads at halftime, they're 8-2-0. But when they trail at the half, they're 0-6-1. So I think... And this is exactly what we're talking about. El Paso pushing now, trying to get a goal right before the break. And that would be such a huge momentum factor for them. Again, Petrovic, great cutback. Blocked well, though. Phoenix defense has been playing well. Dolenmeyer.
He's taking his opponent to school. These 1v1s, fascinating. fascinating. Everybody knows he's a right-footed player, and still he can go inside.
So is that a benefit to have him along the left side because he's a right-footed player, or would he be more natural along the right side?
Hey, what do you prefer, right? When he cuts inside, now his shot got blocked twice because he's going towards more people.
He has to go back into
right?
the teeth of the defense, right?
Phoenix doesn't have that, even though Armenakis is a lefty playing a little bit in the right half space. But the wing-backs for Phoenix, both of them are the same foot as the side that they're playing on, which means that there are more crosses going to come. From Petrovic, there's going to be less crosses, more inside interaction. Depends on what you prefer.
Well, that's a good-looking ball. It's going to find his mark. That's Darnell King with the shot, but deflected. It'll be a goal kick for El Paso.
Great first touch for him.
Let's see if Benny releases someone down the field. He's got Petrovic kind of on an island alone on the left side, but he elects not to go there, and he sends his defense up the pitch.
That's intentional, leaving him out wide.
Well, that was a low ball, though, that Phoenix gets back. Oh, here comes Calvillo, though, with it. He's got Petrovic to the left. Is he going to give it to him? Yes, he does. Now he makes a run. Give it a go. Petrovic cuts again inside, just like you said, every single time. Liam Rose now with it. What's he going to do? Along the right side. Oh, that's a great sliding tackle there for El Paso. They're keeping in possession. I think players stopped playing because they thought it was a foul, but nothing was forthcoming. And now we played 45 minutes. There's one additional minute. Cannot be huge.
Especially because they can think that they were the better team, or they had the better chances, I would say.
What's your message for your team if you're Brian Clairhout?
I think to keep it going. This is comfortable. This is not uncomfortable at all. Now there's some issues on the Locomotive right side with Manjuma, but I think the game plan is working.
That's a great ball. Deflected. It's going to be a corner, a late corner for El Paso. 45th plus first minute. Can they convert? Ivan, what do you like to see here in this corner?
John Burkle, our assistant coach, is responsible for set pieces. So let's see what he drew up. I've seen short corner variations today. It looks like that's not in the.
No one's even there for a short corner.
It looks to me that there's going to be some movements from. Yeah, McHugh and Dollemeyer obviously are the targets, right? Let's see what's going to happen here.
El Paso has only scored one goal from a corner kick all season. Can they make it two? No, that was too short. And that is the first 45. Goodness, that was a great half of football from both teams. All right, Ivan, what do you think about that first half?
You know, it was a classic USL Championship game. Chances here, chances there. Not huge chances. There was, of course, one that hit the woodwork, but you know, it wasn't like it wasn't 1v1 with the goalkeeper. There were some half chances there for Locomotive. Let's see if the second half can change something.
It was a great first half of football. Live from Southwest University Park, it's El Paso Locomotive 0, Phoenix Rising FC 0. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Don't wait on the sidelines. It's time to make your move in a new Ford today.
The thrill of the drive starts when you get behind the wheel of a new Ford truck or SUV.
And experience the speed, precision, and power to conquer the open road.
Catch a great deal at Casa Ford.
Get $7,500 off MSRP on a new F-150 Lariat. Or get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new Ford Explorer XLT. Score a winning drive at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Our score here in downtown El Paso: Paso Locomotive 0, Phoenix Rising FC 0. The USL Championship regular season is coming to a close, unfortunately. Here's a look at the standings going into tonight's action. Again, this is going into tonight's action. And don't forget, the top 8 teams qualify for the playoffs. Top 8 go on to the playoffs. Let's take a look at the top of the standings. Sacramento Republic already clinched a playoff spot and a look to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. San Antonio yet to clinch, but only a matter of time. They could potentially push for that top spot as well. Then you got Orange County and San Diego. These two teams are likely to clinch, barring any disasters to the rest of their season. Now we're talking about Phoenix Rising, the team we're playing right now. They'd like to get home field advantage too. They're solid all around, but have scored 36 goals at home versus 25 on the road. Playing at home could be huge for them, and that's exactly why this is a huge match for Phoenix Rising. And then this is where it gets interesting. All sorts of chaos down here, 6 through 11, all up for grabs. Some teams would like to fall apart, but look at how close everything is with only a handful of points separating them, and some teams have a game in hand. That's not to say that Phoenix can't be caught either in that 5th spot. So if you're El Paso, you still control your own destiny. It starts with picking up as many points as possible. In a situation like this, it's easy to look ahead at who needs to win and who needs to lose. But in talking with Miles Lyons, Benny Diaz this week, they say it's the game in front of them. They play one match at a time that they need to focus on. They're not worried about anything else that's happening in the league right now. Like it's been all season, you go into each match with the idea that you can pick up 3 points, and that's their target for this match. Head coach Ryan Clairhott, same thing, coming over from Sweden. He's dealt with promotion and relegation and says that it typically always comes down to the last match of the season. Not the situation teams like to be in, especially not if you're a first-year head coach like Ryan Clairhott. But with 4 games remaining, not counting tonight, El Paso still has an opportunity to make something happen. Let's take a look at some news and notes from around the USL. As we just saw, the playoff picture is tight in the West, and there's a ton of different scenarios as to who gets in and who doesn't. The USL Championship put together a comprehensive look at the playoff picture. Thanks, USL. Right now, they gave El Paso a 25% chance of making it to the 8th spot, even though they're in 9th spot right now. It's their strength of schedule. They have a lot of touch matches coming up. It's possible, but read more for yourself and how they calculate those chances at uslchampionship.com. We're currently in Hispanic Heritage Month. The league did a really good feature on 17-year-old Fidel Barajas of Charleston Battery. He's playing under 17 for the Mexican national team. That's Locomotive's opponent next week. Barajas, again, playing for Mexico's U17, scored 3 goals and tallied up 5 assists during the most recent CONCACAF tournament. And Ivan just showed me a video he scored today for Charleston, so he's been playing really well recently. He's a good contributor for the Battery. He has an impressive 8 assists, second most in the league. Check it out, the league website again, that's uslchampionship.com. And lastly, don't forget to keep an eye out for those weekly awards, Save the Week, Goal of the Week, etc. We regularly see El Paso players on there, and most recently Benny Diaz for Save of the Week. Don't forget to vote on those, and you'll see links to those plays on Locomotive social media pages. We have more to talk about as we get you ready for the second half. It's El Paso 0, Phoenix Rising 0. We'll be back right after this break.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. It's been a beautiful evening here in downtown El Paso. The score is El Paso 0, Phoenix Rising 0. We have some highlights for you. In general, the whole game is about Phoenix Rising playing on Locomotive's half and Locomotive trying to counter. Here, Knudsen and Aaron Gomez was able to connect together and trying to score that most important first goal. The second one is also in the same theme. Calvillo wins it in the midfield, passing it to Knudsen, who's unable to score, but these transitions were really successful for El Paso, and in the second half, they're looking to do more of that. Again, Calvillo on the left side. Petrovic had a lot of good cut-ins on that side of Phoenix Rising defense, and Calvillo wasn't able to score there, but again, great chances for El Paso in the transition. I want to see more from Knudsen and Aaron Gomez like this, because they were able to connect together, and when they were, it was always something dangerous. And of course, Calvillo is great in open space. Aaron Gomez, Calvillo, Knudsen, great when there's not set up defense, but there's a lot of space, and they can effectively make those last decisions, the last passes, cut in and shoot, try to aim for the far post. Here, Calvillo able to cut in, able to go against Fernandez, who was tired, and able to get a shot off. Next time, hopefully, it's gonna be a goal. Score is El Paso 0, Phoenix Rising 0. We'll be back.
Score the perfect play when you shop at Casa Nissan today.
We've got an all-star selection to choose from with the advanced features, performance, and style to get you into the end zone.
Get ready for prime time when you drive in a new Nissan from Casa Nissan.
Get $1,500 off MSRP on all 2023 Nissan Rogue and Altima models.
Score a winning drive at Casa Nissan.
How I drive in the 915.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah!
It's halftime in downtown El Paso. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Score here in Southwest University Park. El Paso Locomotive FC 0, Phoenix Rising FC 0. Take a look at the match stats so far. We look at total shots, 7 for El Paso, 5 for Phoenix Rising, but shots on target. El Paso with 4 shots on target, Phoenix with none. That's a huge stat, Ivan.
Yeah, possession and total shots are connected. Less possession for El Paso, but more shots and more chances. More possession for Phoenix Rising, but less shots and less chances for Phoenix Rising. That's an interesting one, eh?
It is. Expected goals right now, El Paso 0.78, Phoenix Rising 0.18. That's great news for El Paso. All right, fans, we'll be back for more exciting El Paso Locomotive football. El Paso 0, Phoenix Rising 0. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. El Paso 0, Phoenix Rising 0. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Starting first with Darnell King with the best opportunity for Phoenix Rising early on that first half. Just wide, here's Petrovic. Feeding it off to Gomez. Sorry, that was Calvillo. And then Knutson, along with Adon Gomez. Ivan, this was a leitmotif throughout this first half. Those two were working well together.
Oh, absolutely. We want to see more of that in the second half.
Calvillo has also had a really good match too.
Right.
That was a great layoff. Knutson, you wanted to see more from him during the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if there's more open space for El Paso, they're going to do better. When there's a setup defense against Phoenix Rising, that's when they struggle.
Liam Rose with a really good pass there.
Good shot.
Finding Kostishin.
Yeah.
That was a great shot there. What do you want to see more of for Kostishin in this?
He's Petrovic, but on the other side, right?
Right.
Here's what they want to do. Armenakis is Kostishin, basically playing the same role on both teams. And so far, Kostishin is able to do a little bit more. He's on the yellow card, so I just have a feeling he might not play the whole game.
So if Kostic is not playing the whole match, then who do you sub in for him?
Chris Garcia, maybe.
Okay.
You know, it's an interesting one because it also depends on the score. Zacharias, Sonupe, Hines, Chris Garcia, all these can be interchanged there. We'll see. Also, Adon Gomez can play where Kostishin is playing as well. Knudsen can play that role as well. So even Chapa can come in maybe. We'll see how the game is going. Maybe Brian Clarehout needs a change when it comes to formation. Depends on the score. If they go up, then maybe a more defensive formation. We'll see.
We do have a halftime substitution for Phoenix Rising. Daniel Knudsen, number 4, coming in for Fuenmayor. Now, do you think that's a like-for-like switch, or do you think they're going to switch up? Because Fuenmayor's a right back.
I think in the halftime I called Fuenmayor Fernandez for some reason, but Fuenmayor looked tired. If you think about it, all on that side were the best chances by Petrovic, not necessarily against Fuenmayor, but on that side for sure. And he's playing on that right side, his center back role, and I think he looked tired to me. Not surprising his sub. Let's see how that changes the game for Phoenix Rising.
Once again, this is a pivotal match for both teams, but especially for El Paso Locomotive. Entering tonight's match in 9th place, that's 1 out of the playoff spot. Phoenix Rising in 5th entering this match. If they get to 4th, they get a home field advantage for that first round of playoffs, and they are significantly better at home, scoring way more goals at home than they are on the road. El Paso just looking to survive and try and get in the playoffs altogether. And the first half was very positive from El Paso. Can they keep that momentum going into the second half? Second 45 minutes live from Southwest University Park in El Paso, Texas. Glad to have all of you involved in this match. We hope that the second 45 is just as good as the first 45. And Phoenix, again, starting with possession football, looking to dissect that El Paso defense. And they haven't done so far in the first half. Let's see if they can do it in the second half. Liam Rose, I think, did a really good job in the midfield, feeding the ball. He fed that ball, one great ball to Kostishin. And I think that it's important that he has another good match for the second half, because if they lose the midfield, that's where they can break down, and Phoenix can take advantage with their 3 attacking Armenakis, Arteaga, and Trejo.
Yeah, Liam Rose is one of the most consistent players of the year. Fantastic player, a leader in the locker room. He came in last year and had a little bit of an adjustment period, but since then, once again, one of the most consistent players of the team. I think that he's more defensive than Calvillo, so he's the one that gives a little bit more stability for the defense, and then allows Liam Rose's play for Eric Calvillo to step up a little bit and get closer to the goal and do those things that we showed in halftime and in the highlights.
El Paso Locomotive has scored 5 goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half this year at home. Their opponents have scored 3, so this is, again, coming out of the halftime break. This is where El Paso shines at home. If they can get that first goal, they are 9-4-0 when they score first.
Critical moments. First 5 minutes of the second half. Let's see it.
And when Phoenix's opponents score first, they're 1-7-5. So that first goal, you said it earlier in the broadcast, it's indicative of the entire USL Championship, but that first goal is just so important for both teams, but especially for El Paso.
110%. By the way, what a crowd here in Southwest University
We haven't
Park.
talked a lot about this crowd, but they have filled in quite nicely. UTEP football has the game too, but don't count out El Pasoans. They support all their local sports teams, and we're glad to see so many fans out here for El Paso Locomotive football at Southwest University Park. El Paso building an attack along the left flank. Again, the cutback inside. We've seen it all night long with Petrovic. A long attempt, speculative, poses no problems. Mark Navarro on that shot from way downtown.
We've seen one of those going in, didn't we? A couple of weeks ago, he scored an unbelievable goal from almost the same position. A little bit closer than this, but I never mind when Mark Navarro shoots one on target. This wasn't on target. That was the biggest problem.
Right. Again, this goes back to your keys of the game. Quality chances and converting them. And that's something, they've got the quality chances this match, they just haven't converted anything. They hit the woodwork again. It's just something that El Paso, how do you, is that something that you can work on during the training ground? Is that something that's mental? What do you do to get those, convert those? You know, you're doing the hard work of getting the chances to be good in the first place, but the conversion, that just, they can't break through. How do you change that?
You know, we were talking about statistics, right? And you brought up the expected goals. Analyze those two words, expected goals. That doesn't mean they are goals. Right?
Exactly.
Expected goals shows the quality of chances. You know, what were the quality? And 0.78 means in the first half means that 0.78 goals should have been scored for El Paso. But, you know, at the end of the day, you need to score the goals.
Right.
You need to score the goals. You need to have a player that doesn't care, gets there, and just smashes it in. Now, Lucho Solignac is that type of player. Aaron Gomez can be that type of player. Knudsen haven't showed it that he's that type of player yet. Missed a couple chances today, half chances. I think that the most important thing for El Paso right now is one of these chances to go in, and after that, their counterattacks can be even more valuable and more dangerous. Phoenix will not handle it well if they need to play from behind.
That was a promising play right there from Phoenix, but again, cannot convert it. Now they have to retreat back in the midfield. And now they're trying along the left side again. A lot of attack on the left side in that first 45. They're trying again there in the second 45. And again, there's just no gaps that El Paso's giving up. And that's speculative, and that's going to be an easy pickup for Benny Diaz.
Hit his head, maybe? Maybe head injury? That was awkward.
They may have hit him in a
never mind.
Rather unfortunate spot for male footballers. I always find it really weird that men tend to laugh at that injury, even though it's one of the most painful things that we'll ever experience in our lifetime.
And look at me, I'm smiling about it.
Yeah,
I really.
You can't help but smile. I don't know why. It's just so painful.
Yeah,
you
it
feel
is
for
the
your
worst.
fellow man.
The worst.
Everyone pretty. No issues with Kostichin taking extra time.
I'm not going to analyze the situation too deeply.
I want to ask you, Ivan.
However, I will say that every time it ricochets off of another body part, that's when it's tough.
It's just not. That is not a fun time for Dennis. Let's see if he can recover quickly. I know I'd be out for about 2 hours if that happened to me.
What are you trying to say, Jake?
I'm trying to say that I am very fragile. Extremely fragile. And that's why I'm up here in the booth with you tonight. I'm having so much fun. Are you having fun, Ivan?
Yes,
I'm having
really
a great time.
Yeah, I really have.
As long as we make our hype man laugh, then I think we're doing an acceptable job. They didn't fire us after halftime, so
not yet.
Not yet. They still have about half an hour to fire us if they want to, but so far we've actually not been kicked off the air. Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sports.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Talk about Select. And that Select ball went a little too far for Calvillo there.
Benny Diaz again. Unbelievable, Benny Diaz. I mean, I can't compliment him enough. He just did this. We call it South American goal kick. He put it halfway. Uh-oh.
Here goes chance for El Paso. Shot! Oh, good save by Rocco Rios Novo. He's been doing a great job, I think, today with saving a lot of these great shots for El Paso.
At the same time, you say good saves. I say a lot of bubble up balls. You know, this was a couple times it happened.
Well, that's because I have much lower standards than you do.
Yeah, there you go. At the same time, you know, like somebody needs to follow these up because there's some rebounds there. Knudsen needs to have a little bit more Instinct, I would say.
Chicharito, I think, was one of the best that was just pounced on all deflections and rebounds and everything.
Yes.
We need that Chicharito here on our team.
100%.
I'm sure Paso Locomotive can definitely afford Chicharito on the payroll.
A couple more years. We wait a couple more years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Here comes Phoenix Rising, and they look frustrated. They look disheveled. They look out of sorts. I mean, let's take a look at what happened with the Aron shot right here.
He's doing the classic Aron Gomez situation where he wrestles down like 3 people, and then he puts in. I tend to laugh.
There's a rebound there that you're talking about.
Yeah, and I tend to laugh at Aron Gomez because he's such a wholehearted guy. He puts literally everything into that shot. He fell in the shot. He does that regularly. He scores goals like that.
Here comes El Paso again on the attack. Well, that's a great hustle there. That's Miles Lyons. Well done, son. Here comes Kostashin with the cross inside.
Not a good cross.
No, it's not. It's not at all. I didn't know how to say that, but thank you for being honest with that cross. Phoenix just hosted down the pitch, and they just don't seem to have any ideas of what to do in that case.
No, it's a tough start for Phoenix Rising. Good start for Locomotive. Here comes the ball.
Oh, that's a great ball. That was Kostashin with that ball. Oh,
never mind.
No. Spoke way too soon there. We're trying not to give reasons for us to get fired, but sometimes we'll be honest and we mess up. We think that's a good ball, and little do I know. Here comes Phoenix Rising now, trying to penetrate this El Paso defense. 54th minute.
Very interesting to see. Look at how Calvillo is playing left-sided wingback, and Petrovic steps up a little bit. I don't know if this is just the moment because Petrovic had that long ball and he just sprinted 80 yards, but that's an interesting change where Calvillo is playing the left-sided wingback in possession. Now without possession. Now he can come in and Petrovic goes back to his position. This is a really interesting change. I don't know if I'm gonna follow this, see if this is happening again and again.
A long speculative ball there, and wow. Rios Novo almost makes a hash of that one, but steadies himself and outlets out to the left flank again for Phoenix Rising. They've a lot of attacks along the left flank, but they just haven't produced anything. Now cutting back inside. That's a great ball. What can they do with this possession here? Oh, so flag stay down. Great save by Benny Diaz. Oh, well done by Benny. That was critical.
Unbelievable save.
He hasn't had to save much. In fact, he hasn't had to save anything this match. That was his first shot on target for Phoenix, and he stepped up to the task. Well done. That's nothing on that one. Benny Diaz. Ivan, what happened there?
I mean, take a look at how he stays in position, doesn't go down on the ground. He stays and tries to be as big as possible. We call that the X-wing.
Right off his shoulder. Arteaga, that was a great first touch to bring that ball down initially. And a shot, I think, was that a great shot, Ivan?
He's not going to save tonight, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
He's not going to save. That's a big chance.
The first big chance for Phoenix Rising. And now El Paso. That's a good ball out to the left side. He's going to try and cross it in. There's a cross. Oh, that's a goal! Aron Gomez! Get in, son! Yes! All alone, right in front of the boss. Rios Novo was asking his defenders what happened. Ivan, I'm going to ask you what happened there.
Petrovic 1v1 on the side. He's not cutting inside. He did it the whole first half, and he was cutting inside in these moments. Not this time. Pam, shooting it across, and Aron Gomez. You asked for a Chicharito, you got one. Absolutely fantastic goal. Petrovic has been the most dangerous player for us, and Aron Gomez, right time, right place, 1-0 Locomotive.
That was the killer instinct you were talking about earlier, having someone right there in front of goal, and it's exactly what Aron Gomez did. Petrovic with a great cross inside, a great run just to make that cross happen. And this time he didn't cut across on the inside, and he kept out to the left, and that do you think that confused the defense? Are you expecting him to cut through?
100%, and he did that one time in the first half, and almost the same thing happened, right? Aron Gomez hit the post on that one on the first half. Almost the same identical play. You can expect that when it's a 1v1 from Petrovic, you can expect that something magical gonna happen. And if I'm Aaron Gomez, I really love that idea when Petrovic has the ball 1v1. Now you can anticipate, now you can expect that the ball is going to cross against the goal and see if you can tap it in. And Aaron Gomez, you know, I always think about him a lot because I think he's undervalued. I think he's underrated. He's unbelievable poacher, unbelievable forward inside of the box.
Phoenix Rising now trying to get that goal back. This is notoriously one of the most dangerous times. Immediately scoring a goal, you kind of let yourself relax and you're happy.
Critical moments.
Yeah, critical moments.
And on top of that, it's a great point by you that it's a very, very dangerous time. But how about the save that Benny Diaz just made right before the goal? This is how football works. Ups and downs. If you miss your chances, you will be punished on the other end.
So Benny Diaz with that great save, and then just moments later, Petrovic getting along the left flank and putting in a perfect cross for Aaron Gomez. And that was all within the span of not more than 2 minutes. That was back-to-back great plays from El Paso. Here we have an injury for Phoenix Rising.
Traore maybe?
This could be Traore bumping heads with Aaron Gomez. We may take a look at it and see what happened here. Aaron, yeah, you're exactly right. That is Traore. And they're taking a lot of time, and that's what I think one of the biggest improvements for world football is taking head injuries so seriously.
Yeah, most certainly. And you know, as I'm the academy director for Paso Locomotive, and our coaches and myself, we have to do like every year we have to refresh our certifications when it comes to concussion prevention.
All right, we already have a contender for GECU save the game, and that's Benny Diaz's save just a few moments ago. Let's take a look at it. David, let's go. Roll this. Good job. Benny Diaz. Arteaga all alone inside with a great first touch, and Benny Diaz with his shoulder, it looked like, with a GECU save of the game. I even talk about that save.
He stayed big. That's what they teach him. Coach JC, the goalkeeper coach for our team, that's what he teaches them. Stay as big as possible and try not to go down on the ground. That's exactly what he did. That's a fantastic save. And again, the save of the game doesn't show it, but a minute or two later, 1-0 El Paso Locomotive. Big switch, no? Going 1-0 down or going 1-0 up?
Again, we've been talking about it all night. When El Paso scores first, they're 9-4-0. When their opponents score first, they're 2-8-4. Similarly with Phoenix, when their opponents score first, they're 1-7-5. But when Phoenix score first, they're 11-1-4. That first goal is just so huge, and it could have completely shifted the balance and the momentum of this match had Benny Diaz not made that spectacular save. How do you, as a goalkeeper, just know that it's going to hurt and it could hit your face, it could hit your crown jewels? How do you just, in that mentality, say, I'm going to accept this pain, I'm just going to be as big as possible?
That's what differentiates professional players from average players, I would say. Benny has to concentrate the entire game. Maybe there's going to be 15, 20, 25 minutes when nobody comes near his goal.
Right.
But that one time they come,
offside flag up there. Again, so many offsides. Prior to that, Phoenix Rising had 4 offsides, so that was number 5. The defensive line has dug in. They've been concentrating, they've been communicating, and they've held that line all match long. Can they do it for another half hour? That's a great ball. Here comes El Paso Locomotive. It's all alone, 1v2. Oh, the shot for a penalty, but the referee says no, sir. Ivan, what do you think about that? Do you think that was a penalty?
No.
I agree with you.
Kujan lost his balance even before.
Right.
He fell on the ball. That hurts. He lost the balance, you see.
Yeah,
Traore comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah, very clean. Here, actually, yeah, now, I will say that the last piece was very unnecessary by Traore. He really didn't need. If you take a look at it, I don't know if you're gonna take a look at it again, but at the last second, he shoves him a little bit even more. So not here. This is clean.
So that was the first
and then
big
as
one.
he's falling, now that was not needed. That was not needed. I don't think
that Knudsen was just happened to be falling into him and Traore was just walking in his normal
it's not penalty, but Traore knew what he was doing. He pushed him one extra a little bit. Now this is interesting, right? Because Knudsen outside of the field, so the game can go on.
But Knudsen still behind the goal line, way at the opposite end of the pitch right now. We'll let you know if he comes back. I don't think the referee's allowed him. Yeah, at this point, he may need to make his way to the center of the field in order for the referee to allow him back.
No, he
on the
needs
pitch.
to go back. By the rule is
right.
Oh, yes, he
you
can
can't
go
just,
back.
Right, exactly.
Here's the rule: if there is somebody comes in
on.
to cheat him, yes, because because if somebody comes in, our athletic trainer comes in and cheat him, then he needs to go and the referee needs to give them a permission. If he's out of bounds and no athletic trainer comes in, he doesn't get treatment, he can come back anytime. That's the deciding factor. Nobody came all the way here, so that was dangerous.
That was.
By the way, Oakland Roots and Monterey Bay 1-1 right now, and with El Paso being up 1-0, 7th place on the table. That's a playoff spot.
Now that's huge, but that's something that. Do you want to tell your team, or are you just keeping that information from them?
Oh, definitely not telling them.
Got it.
Definitely not. Also, we are far away. There's so many things can happen, but a win would be massive for El Paso Locomotive when it comes to trying to keep the dream alive.
Again, Benny Diaz with a great deep ball, and that's going to allow this chance to matriculate. Oh, that's a good ball. Here comes Phoenix Rising along the left side again. Munjoma, he's been great all night long. Cross is deflected out for a corner. What do you need to do for El Paso if you're going to defend this corner, Ivan?
Let's see what the sub's going to be for Phoenix Rising. See if there's going to be any change on that. Usually teams wait when it's a set piece. They're not going to sub right now, I don't think. They're going to wait for the corner. We have the height advantage. El Paso is, especially with Dahlmeyer and McHugh. There's nobody on the post, so if you take a look, there's nobody on the near post or the far post near the goal.
Crosses in, and that header is way wide. No trouble whatsoever for El Paso.
Outswinging corner. They are trying to avoid the tall guys. They're going to need to do more than that.
2 substitutions for Phoenix Rising. Player number 7 in for player number 2. 7 is Erickson Gallardo. He's subbing in for Darnell King. And then 29 in for 23. That is Darius Formella coming in for number 23.
Munjoma.
Which is Munjoma, who I thought played a really good match. You think he's tired? Or do you think they're going to switch up the formation and try and do something different with this El Paso defense?
Let's see, because, 4-2-3-1 it looks like right now. Yeah, they... Let's see in a couple seconds if that means that they go into a 4.
Oh, can he beat him there? No. That was a great effort from
Usually
Aron.
the wingbacks are the ones that get tired the easiest, so that sub is not a surprise. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's a switch to a 2 center back instead of 3. Maybe not.
There he is right now. Formella, man, that just came on the pitch.
No, they stayed in the formation.
So that's just a like-for-like switch.
Yeah, it looks like
replacing tired bodies. What about potential switches for those top 3? Do you think that's ever going to happen, or they're going to play the full 90?
You are down 1-0, so you need the quality guys.
Oh, that's a great defensive match. Ooh. Paso's defense scrambling.
Navarro, I think.
Navarro again with the deflection. And it looks like there's going to be a substitution for El Paso. Chapa coming in. Chopster, who's he coming in for? Coming in for Knudsen.
Sonupe is coming in too. So when it comes to positions, I think Sonupe is coming in for Knudsen to be on top.
So Sonupe, he does play up top.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be that substitution. And then Chapa in for Kostashin. So Chapa in for Kostashin. He's on a yellow. That's exactly what you said earlier. He's not going to play the full 90 because he's on that yellow.
Right.
That was a great call on your part, Ivan. What are you doing up here? Should be on the touch side.
I'm a magician. 2 yellow cards is a red. Not hard to put it together, right?
Hey, you're talking to me, so it's pretty hard for me to put that together. Phoenix Rising trying to get something out of this match. Trying to secure home field for the first round of the playoffs. They have a huge matchup coming against Orange County. Could they maybe overlooking this match against El Paso, giving El Paso's recent struggles? And they're also playing off of midweek fixture on Wednesday. They could be just dog tired too.
Yeah, certainly.
Remember El Paso when they played, against Sacramento. They had just played Las Vegas that Wednesday, and they played a defensive, brilliant game until the very last minute when they conceded that last-second goal, and they just looked tired those last 10 minutes, and I think that's something that El Paso should have taken advantage of, and I think they are. They're doing a great job of taking advantage of that.
I'm really curious for the last 15 minutes how this game gonna turn. Is it gonna be a Phoenix Rising, energy boost, or is it gonna be a second goal from El Paso Locomotive?
This is the most dangerous part of the match at home for El Paso. Their opponents have scored 7 goals between the 61st and 75th minutes, and we're right in the middle of that window. This is where El Paso has to dig deep. What messages do you send to your defense and to your defending players, midfielders, saying, we got to hold the fort, we got to dig down. I know we're tired, I know we've concentrated the entire match, you communicated well. What do you tell them to say, hey, we got to hold down the fort here? Oh, that's a great ball! Is that Sanupe? That's a foul! Just outside the box. And Sanupe making an instant impact. Well done.
Our players are asking for a red card. I don't think he was the last man.
I do not think he was the last man.
But it could have been interpreted as let's see what the referee is going to do. I think it's going to be a yellow card, but let's see if it was the clear goal scoring chance. It's a yellow card.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you had Stenberg coming right back, and he was going to track back no matter what.
The fastest man on earth, Manny Sanupe. Just one step away, because don't forget, the line is part of the 18-yard box. So if the foul would have been on the line, that's a penalty, but it was just outside.
Is that something that you teach defenders, that if you're going to get beat just outside the line, and make that foul and make it don't give the referee even a chance to think about that. It's like 2 yards in front of the box, pull him down, be a professional foul, get the yellow instead of conceding a penalty.
Now this is a very dangerous spot.
Who do you think takes this free kick?
Petrovic is a specialist. I watch him in training sessions doing these things. I mean, he has an unbelievably good shot.
He's placing the ball down right now.
Yeah, he's definitely him.
Calvillo's also there with him, but you think he's going to be a decoy there?
Yeah, definitely not Calvillo. It's Petrovic. He's not giving it up. He's having a great game, has an assist already.
There's a man laying down behind the wall. You see that? You've seen it a lot in world football these days. I remember seeing it in Qatar.
I had a player who turned around. I told him, please lay down behind the wall, and he turned around, face towards the ball.
That's
I was screaming, yelling, please turn around, man.
No,
please
you want your bum side facing the ball, not your face. It is. Oh, he fumbled it, but Rio Novo collects it back again. That was dodgy. He had an initial save, but then fumbled it, but then got it back before he hit the ground again.
Good job by Rio Novo, the Phoenix goalkeeper, staying in his position, because you have the temptation to step just one step behind the wall and not trusting the wall, right, doing its job. And with that half step, it would have opened up the spot for Petrovic to shoot on the far post, but he didn't do that.
But that was well done by Petrovic to get it on target in the first place. That was a good opportunity.
You
don't think so?
I expected to go around the wall. I expected to go above the wall.
Oh, okay.
But it was a good shot.
In that shortest scenario, though, is there enough space to go up and over with a free kick?
You're hitting it right. Very difficult.
Okay.
If anybody can do it, it's Petrovic, though.
Okay.
Or David Beckham. Who knows?
Oh. David, yeah. So we got Chicharito and we got Beckham on.
New documentary coming out. He's my childhood favorite. I mean, he's an idol for me.
Really?
David Beckham. I loved him. Everybody knows him because he's a celebrity, but he was such a good player.
He was also made to be a scapegoat in England.
Yes, many times.
Yeah. And
yeah, the new documentary, I think it's going to be on Netflix. I know it's not advertising, but everybody, I saw the preview and it looks very exciting. It's all about, his personal life. He was one of the first celebrity soccer players that couldn't leave his house because he married posh, Victoria Beckham. Two celebrities come together. It was nuts.
That's Juan's favorite is Victoria.
Yeah.
Here's Petrovic's free kick opportunity. Ivan, what happened here?
Yeah, Calvillo goes through again because of the goalkeeper didn't. I mean, that was poor by him, by the way. Yeah. He shouldn't have bottled that out, but he didn't take a step inside. If he would have, but I will say this: looking at the replay, if he would have went more towards the post, Petrovic, he would have had the chance, even if with this speed of shot.
Here's an opportunity for El Paso, and that's going to be another free kick.
Petrovic is playing his best
Petrovic is
game.
playing the match of his life, and that's exactly what we needed. That's another dangerous free kick along the left flank. Looking back at that first free kick that he had, it almost looked like Rios Novo had his head turned like he was ready to outlet before he actually completed the save, and that's maybe why he fumbled it, because he was looking out like what Benny does and trying to outlet something and get a counterattack, and then when you realize the ball wasn't in his lap anymore, it's like, oh, I got to hit this now. Petrovic, you think he's taking this again?
Yeah, and I was wondering, why is that not a yellow card? It certainly felt like a yellow card for me. There was no yellow card given, I don't think.
No, I didn't see one either.
But it was a yellow card in my books.
Well, let's see if El Paso can double their lead. 1-0 up, 73rd minute. Another dangerous free kick inside. Oh, that's well done. That's a dangerous free kick. But Phoenix Rising headed it out. Now they're on the counter. This is what they need. That's a foul. Is that a professional foul? You want to stop that break, or is that just a miss?
That was high.
Eric McHugh, that's a defender.
A
that's McHugh getting a yellow. Now what do you do if you're Claire Hout?
See, now there's no VAR here.
Right.
Do
you trust McHugh that he's not going to get on the second yellow, or do you take him out?
Ooh, that was a bad foul. He survived that one. With VAR, this could have been different. Let's just move on. Let's play, ref.
So we have allegedly a substitution. 14 in, 9 out for Phoenix.
Arteaga didn't play well.
No, that is. I mean, it's got to be disappointing for Phoenix.
None of the three played well, to be honest. I mean, Armenakis didn't even touch the ball. I don't remember him touching the ball. Now I'm hopefully not jinxing this.
Right. There's still at least 15 minutes left to play. You actually learned a lot about Armenakis in your preparation for this match. As El Paso trying to get the ball in midfield. What did you learn, Ivan?
Yeah, I have a site. It's called Backhill.com. But
that's a good ball from Sanubat! Oh, can't get there in time.
Backhill is a magazine that is dealing with American soccer. My good friend Joseph Lowry is one of the writers there. And they wrote an article about the players in the USL Championship that MLS should be looking at, right, to buy. And Armenakis was one of them. And when I looked into him, I found out that he's a Udinese product. Udinese Calcio is a Serie A team in Italy, and he played in their academy, U17, U19. And Udinese is known to have one of the best scouting networks in the world. I mean, players like Alexis Sanchez, people that follow soccer, they know Arsenal and Barcelona, and Inter Milan later on. And I mean, a fantastic player from Chile. Or the latest one, if somebody's a Spurs fan, Tottenham Spurs fan, Destiny Udogi, who is a Nigerian-Italian left back, all coming from Udinese because the scouting network is so good. So if you are, oh,
that's a dangerous ball. Benny Diaz! Oh, that was really dangerous.
Arteaga before he comes out, that should have been a goal.
Wow, his last two chances of the match before he gets subbed out.
He was the one that hit it into Benny Diaz as well.
He's being replaced by Emil Cuello. And here's that replay.
Wow.
Wow. That's got to raise alarm flags for El Paso.
100%. So back to Armenakis. Yeah, he's from a club, Udinese, that is known for scouting players. And he was one of by The Guardian put together a list when he was younger, one of the top 100 talent of the world at some point. And then it didn't work out. He was in Belgium, he was in Greece, and Loudoun United found him. And Loudoun United this year, he played, I think, 13 games or something for them, and Phoenix Rising said, oh, we want the best technical player, the most technical player in the league, and they got him. And since then, he's doing really well for them.
Leading the league in assists. He's doing a really, really good job. But tonight, Ivan, I believe you have an update on what's going on in the standings for El Paso Locomotive.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Oakland Roots and Monterey Bay is playing as we speak, and they are tied right now. And since El Paso is beating Phoenix Rising, El Paso comes up to the 7th spot, and Phoenix Rising remains at 5th.
The shot goes, on its side! He couldn't get the shot on target. Oh, that is dangerous. You cannot let that happen for El Paso. They're starting to break down. 77th minute, Phoenix Rising trying to rise to the occasion and get this equalizing goal. That's Cuello. He just came on, and he had that wide open.
Handball too.
Oh, he
And
missed it completely.
the fact that that didn't go in, I mean, there was 3 clear-cut chances now for Phoenix Rising.
What do you do now for El Paso?
We should be very good at defending against the cross. Once again, we have tall center backs, and we have 3 of them. So this, as you can see, Dahlmeyer, McHugh is in nowhere. Dahlmeyer coming too much, and Navarro again, just like in the first half, Navarro is not necessarily the best header of the 3, even though he's taller. I think Navarro needs to be staying a little bit closer to McHugh and Dahlmeyer in the crossing situations.
Great job by David Goncha leaving that replay up so we can see that positioning right before the header.
But
you got a great production team here in El Paso.
You know what would change? You know what would change this game completely? If El Paso scores another one.
That is true. When El Paso scores 2 or more goals, they're 7-2-2. And when Phoenix's opponent scored 2 or more goals, they're 1-5-3. Here's that look again.
Navarro nowhere. He was well, actually not nowhere. He was worrying about Steinberg on the back.
So whose man is that then?
Yeah, I mean, good question.
Thank you. One good question today. All right. I think I've earned my check.
Well, I'm a little bit, just because, again, the way that the structure is McHugh is in the central position, Dahlmeyer on the left of him, Navarro on the right. And then the moment when that changed, because it was a unexpected, chaotic situation, now McHugh was on the near post by himself. Dahlmeyer is on the forward, and nobody was in the position that they originally wanted.
So we've got a couple of substitutions. Hines and Zacarias are coming in for El Paso. Zacarias is in for Adam Gomez. And Nick Hines in for Petar Petrovic. And that's what we were saying earlier. Matt Diaz, well done. And there's the outlet. Can you get him? Oh, Sanupe was the target. Couldn't make contact with him. Petrovic, you said you don't think he was going to play the entire 90, and that's come to fruition.
For me, he's the man of the match. Absolutely brilliant. He played.
Absolutely.
At the same time, this is what we are talking about. Who scores the first goal? And based on that, what are the tactical changes that are going to happen? Brian Clarehouse says, I want somebody that is more defensive-minded. Nick Hines is one of the most athletic and dynamic players when it comes to defensive and offensive duels. So I think Nick Hines coming in for Petrovic is definitely that hey, there is a little bit more than 10 minutes left. Let's keep the score. And Gomez, on the other end, is coming off because he got tired. How much he's running is unbelievable.
Oh, here comes some Margie. Phoenix doesn't think he's leaving the field quickly enough. Adon milking it for all he can.
Yeah.
That's just something you see in world football these days.
Smart.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing, exactly.
He's going to laugh about it, absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, so you think Hines won't be moving up the field as much as Petrovic did at all?
Brian Clarehouse probably said, you stay back, Nikki.
So you have Hines, Dolenmeyer, McHugh, and Navarro, and you think they'll stay there the entire rest of the match? You think anyone else will drop back to help them?
Yeah,
Was Miles Lyons going to stay back there a lot more now?
That's why it's so important to have Sanupe on the field right now, because Sanupe, as we saw, faster than anybody on the field. Which means that even by himself, if it's at the right moment of the counter, can create something. And I think this is what we're going to see, what we are seeing right now. El Paso is on their own half. Phoenix is trying to find tempo, trying to play the positional play that they are good at. Well, they're supposed to be good at. Not really great this afternoon, this night. So we'll see if there can be more crosses maybe. There were a lot of crosses from Phoenix Rising. But again, tall center backs for El Paso. If they can penetrate through the middle, that's what I would be worrying about a lot. But fresh players like Chapa is coming in for El Paso, so that should be stable as well. We'll see if the counter's gonna happen, because again, the second goal would decide this game for El Paso. It's gonna be a really interesting last 10 minutes.
I want to draw your attention. Expected goals is now 1.38 for El Paso, 1.36 for Phoenix. They have jumped in the expected goals, and those chances that have gone either wide or saved by Benny Diaz.
Less possession for El Paso, higher chances, and leading the game 1-0. Of course, now Phoenix Rising going to have maybe more expected goals because they need to push for it. And the way that expected goals work is that even a very little chance could drive those numbers up. So it's not necessarily telling the whole story of the game, but tells enough where we can see that El Paso created enough for leading. Phoenix Rising created enough for leading. However, more critical and more clinical El Paso has been.
Shots on target. Phoenix still with only one shot on target. That was the massive Benny Diaz save. So they're creating chances, but they're they're definitely not converting. That was the key to the game for El Paso, getting quality chances and converting, and they converted one of those. Can they convert two? Sadupe just can't get there.
He's so fast.
He is.
Nightmare.
Unbelievable. Just how do you defend against someone that's so fast
Nightmare.
like that?
Nightmare.
Do you leave one-on-one like that? Like
especially since we are talking about the 80th minute. Traore played the whole game, and now I'm telling you that you have to now chase down the fastest man on earth. Good luck.
Almost as fast as Usain Bolt.
And he's very fast.
If you're El Paso, are you content with just playing everyone back in your own half and letting Phoenix try and probe around the perimeter in that U shape that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, winning mentality. This is when it counts. Big time game, home game. We haven't been as successful as we wanted to be at home. This is a big time last 10 minutes of the game for El Paso Locomotive FC.
That was Nick Hines with that throw. And do you think he's way too upfield right now?
No, it's okay. I mean, you know, there's nothing for them up top. So the best defense is to have the ball and not let them attack at all. So.
Oh, that should not have been left. That was going to be a poor decision there. Can Phoenix counter along the left side? Oh, that's a good tackle.
Was that Cavillo?
Did he get back in position?
That was
Chapa. Chapa with the fresh
no,
legs.
No, Miles. It was Miles.
Oh, Miles with
yeah.
no fresh lines. Miles Lyons.
Good job on him.
The workhorse that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he just never stops competing, never stops working, and it showed right there. So fast we couldn't even see who made that tackle. It was Miles Lyons. Frustrating ball, that's got to be for Phoenix.
They are
just
tired.
giving away possession.
Not only physically, but they are mentally tired.
Absolutely.
If El Paso can stay smart here and not give up fouls or in and around the box, they should be advantages for them.
If you're presented with a chance to hook the ball down on an outlet on a counterattack, do you do that, or do you just stay with possession football? At this point in the match for El Paso, which one of those would you prefer, either Benny Diaz or someone else in the back line? Would you prefer them going for that second goal and killing off the match entirely and risking a counterattack from Phoenix, or do you want them to just keep possession football and run out the clock that way?
Yeah, no, I think both. Depends on the moment, right? Because we have good enough players. El Paso has good enough players to keep the ball for a longer period. And the moment when you can kind of, and especially, you know, the game has a certain kind of like mentality and flow to it. And I think right now it is El Paso's game. So if El Paso can have longer periods, 30 seconds, 40 seconds of possession, and maybe even get to the opposition's half and not allow Phoenix to set up on their half, every moment that they can do that way is helping them one step closer to the victory, to the 3 points. But if they are going too deep and staying in their own box and allowing Phoenix to dictate the tempo on their half, now we arrive to the 90th minute, 92nd, and heartbreak. Hopefully that's not going to happen.
No. That Miles Lyons tackle is going to be our physical play of the game. Stick around to see that replay again. David Concha, 3 looks at it. As of now, it could be 4 if he excels at his job. Here comes Phoenix trying to find something. They haven't found anything all match long, except for a cross that was really well, that was completely missed on a header. But other than that, they've been just trying to, in the run of play, nothing's going.
I mean, if I would drop,
this looks promising for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good ball. Well done. Was that McHugh on that defensive play?
Yes, and I was worried a little bit. He stepped in too aggressive for me inside of the box. But if you want to draw a line between, if you connect the side of the 18-yard boxes, right?
Right.
How many players? Take a look at how many players in that middle central channel. I mean, at least 15. And as a result, there's not enough space for Phoenix to penetrate in the middle. And of course, the goal is in the middle.
Right.
So the moment when you're passing outside, you're going more away and away from the goal. And
another cross. Benny, oh, one-handed! Is that a confidence?
These crosses not going to happen for Phoenix Rising. Benny's playing very well today, reading these balls very well, but also we have the height advantage. So they thinking that a cross is going to cause a trouble? I don't think so.
That was Trejo, the intended target for that cross, and he just has not had a productive match. guarantee you he would agree with that. He just has been frustrated all match long. 87th minute. Can El Paso hold on? Everyone on the edge of their seats. Oh, that's going to be a bad foul. Bad foul that time. And that was number 7, Erickson Gallardo with that bad foul. He just came on a few minutes ago. That's got to be frustrating for Phoenix.
Nick Hines with the recovery run. He's also very fast. And he's in good positioning. He made that play, and that was very important. Gallardo is a dangerous player. Didn't see much from him today.
Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and much more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Is that an instance where Nick Hines feels contact and he's going down a little bit quicker than? I don't want to say anything, but
100%.
Okay.
No, but hey, listen, if you're in a better position than the opponent and the opponent runs into you, what am I supposed to do?
You've earned that right, being in that proper position to begin with, I think.
100%. It's not Nick Hines' fault that you are too eager and running into you.
Here comes Phoenix Rising again. Gallardo with it on the right side. They haven't tried to be speculative on the right side as they have on the left side this match, and now they're switching it back over to the left side.
This is perfect for El Paso. Go wide. After a while, you get bored, so you're gonna cross it in.
No foul. Well done. Sanupe. Okay, that's the physical play of the game from Sanupe. Well done. No, that's his Miles Lyons again. Miles Lyons with the physical play of the game.
Great job by Miles. Now, again, inside of the box, it was a little risky, but since it worked out really well, we can say nothing about it. Miles Lyons with a goal, first goal of his career a couple weeks ago, and now physical play of the game. Fantastic from Miles.
And for a young man like that, I mean, that's got to be so boosting your confidence. Like, now I feel like I'm really part of this. There's a man down for El Paso.
Speaking of Miles, did you know that Miles traveled every time? We were in Casa Grande, Arizona. That is like 40 minutes away from Phoenix, and an hour and a half from Tucson. And every time he came to training, 1.5 hours in the car with his father. Unbelievable guy.
All right, we look ahead to the next week as we move into the next match presented by the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. El Paso welcomes Charleston Battery to Southwest University Park for the first time ever as part of the interconference schedule from the last 2 seasons. And this one has the potential to be very interesting for Locomotive, especially if they can hold on this 1-0 victory. Benny Diaz again, well done. Battery already clinched a playoff spot, but coming into tonight, Charleston has a shot at making it to the top of the East. As we've discussed, for Locomotive, it's pick up every point possible, and they need to play well at home. Ivan, you've seen in the last couple of years, but traveling across the country is not easy for any team.
Yeah, I mean, Charleston is top three in the Eastern Conference. They're doing really well this year.
And they got Fidel Barajas that is just tearing up the under-17s, playing well for Mexico, and he had a goal today for Charleston. So definitely, if you're in El Paso, you definitely want to get tickets to that match because that is going to be a great match to watch.
Generally speaking, though, the Western Conference is stronger than the Eastern. So El Paso shouldn't be scared of any of it, especially after a good result today.
Oh, no! A last-minute goal from Phoenix out of nothing! Darius Formella opened up. And with 4 minutes of additional time, it's heartbreak for El Paso. The traveling fans from Phoenix can't believe it.
It looked like offside to me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, that very much looks like an offside position for me. We are not in line. Just a feeling. Let's see it. I'm almost 100%.
I see what you see. I see. Yeah.
Especially again, no VAR, so we're not gonna be able to tell. But because he was leaning in, I'm almost 100% that was offside.
Oh, that was a beautiful finish, though. Absolutely stunning from Formella. Can El Paso get the match back in their favor? 1-1 in the 91st minute.
It was coming nowhere.
Completely out of nowhere. They're completely frustrated the entire match. That one little give and go, but that was a great finish, I think, for Formella. Absolutely stunning.
I will say this, El Paso needs to be really careful here.
And Navarro, who's there?
El Paso needs to be really careful here because I can see the frustration. Navarro as the right side center back coming all the way here. Miles and Navarro playing basically the same position, which is very
Well, that's a good ball from Calvillo, though. Oh, he's inside! Give it to him! No, it's no! Sanupe couldn't get home in time.
Would you say that Aaron Gomez would be there to tap it in?
I was just about to ask you. Aaron was there for their goal, and now he's off the pitch. Is that substitution going to come back in El Paso? Oh, that was beautifully worked along the left side. Nick Hines.
This moment when he doesn't
Perfect. That was a great fake. Sanupe, that's not there in time. Even his quickness can't get there. El Paso still has a couple minutes to try and salvage 3 points.
I would be really careful here. I just have a bad feeling because now the eagerness for El Paso is here. Again, look at Navarro and Miles on the right side, almost basically playing the same position. If there's a loss of possession here out of nowhere, the counterattack is on for Phoenix.
Oh, that's a bad ball. Phoenix now has possession in midfield, and they have about a minute and a half left to try and steal. Massive robbery of 3 points if they can get a second goal here, and that will really solidify their hopes of getting home field for that first round of the playoffs. And that could completely kill El Paso's challenge for making the playoffs altogether. But you think their 1 point is better than 0 at the risk 100%. Of trying to go for those 3.
Yes, but of course, we watched the whole game. We know the story of this game. El Paso Locomotive was the better team.
There's Benny Diaz with an outlet. Sanupe's got to try and make some magic happen. Oh, he's got reinforcements. Navarro with the cross. Headed away, and there's no one home. Phoenix now on the counter. This is exactly what she said. This is dangerous. Oh, that's a great ball. That's Harvey with it. Harvey in acres of space. A good ball. Dealt with. That was McHugh. He's got to be exhausted.
The nature of this league. The nature of this league is that as much, and you can see McHugh on his knees, you know, as the time goes on, the more spaces will appear. And the better decision you make in a 4v3, 3v2 situation in front of the goal, the higher chance you have to win the game.
That's going to be a goal kick. Let's see if Benny Diaz goes a quick goal kick. And no, there's just no one out to outlet to. Everyone's exhausted. Harvey was hunched over too. He's played the entire match. I think he's played a really good match. It's just everyone's exhausted, and it's 94th. Now we're in the 95th minute. We've exhausted our 4 minutes of stoppage time. At this point, you think everyone's content to go home?
Yeah, I might have been a little biased saying that El Paso Locomotive was the better team. I think that they played Locos bigger chances than that, and much more, should I say, fair chances than that.
A devastating draw for El Paso. After full time, El Paso 1, Phoenix Rising 1. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Southwest University Park in beautiful downtown El Paso, Texas. Full-time score, El Paso Locomotive FC 1, Phoenix Rising FC 1. Let's send it down to Andrea Mendez with tonight's estrella of the match, Petar Petrovic.
Locos, let's welcome tonight's estrella of the match, Petar Petrovic. Petar, was a big game tonight from you. Lots of pressure from Phoenix, and you finally converted on a goal with Aron. How big was that for you?
No, it was an important goal for us. We took the lead 1-0, but in the end, we conceded a goal again, and it's not good.
Let's talk a little bit more about the defense tonight. The Phoenix attack is really good, and you were able to shut them down. How proud are you of the team effort tonight? How the performance, like even though, you know, it's not the result we were expecting, how do you feel about the team effort that you guys brought on tonight?
No, I mean, 90 minutes, they don't score a goal. We have them exactly where we want, and they score a goal in 90 minutes. But I think overall we do a good game, and we need to improve a little bit more defensively.
We got a big matchup coming up next Saturday, September 30th, against Charleston Battery. What are you expecting from that matchup?
No, we need to go for 3 points. That's everything we need to go for.
Lastly, do you got any message to the fans that showed up here tonight for you guys?
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up, and I hope we see her next week here.
Now we're going to give you the poster here. You're going to sign for the fans, one lucky fan, and then we'll go ahead and sign the ball as well so you can throw it into the crowd. Let's give it up for tonight's estrella of the match, Petar Petrovic.
Petar Petrovic, I think, Ivan, you said it early on in the match, he's definitely the Estrella Jalisco man of the match. Let's take a look at the full-time match stats, and that's just, you can just sense the frustration. 2 shots on target for Phoenix Rising, and one of those was the equalizer in the 90th minute.
Yeah, I think that El Paso should be proud of the performance that they put on. Phoenix Rising should feel lucky. But if we are going back tomorrow and sitting down in a calm room next to a coffee and thinking about the game and looking at the stats and looking at the chances, I think that both teams will say it was a 1-1 kind of game. I'm looking at the expected goals. We talked about it all game. 138 for El Paso, 147 for Phoenix Rising, very close. I think that at home against a very good Phoenix Rising team, if we would have said before the game it's going to be 1-1, we would have accepted it. This way, however, I'm not sure.
And if it would have been the other way around, if Phoenix had scored first and then El Paso equalized late on, would you be euphoric with that 1 point? How do you, as a coach, how do you instill that in your players, saying that it's 1-1?
Yeah, I think it's difficult for Brian right now. I know it for a fact. As a coach, I know the feeling. I feel for them. You know, there's still games left, and let's hope that we can make that playoffs push.
Absolutely. Fans, we hope you enjoyed this match as much as we did calling it. Ivan Military, well, thank you so much for being an amazing broadcast partner. From all our people in the production room, including Juan Gutierrez, our producer and director, David Concha, our replay expert, Tebeda, our technical director, Chris Kinane, our amazing audio guy, Hector, I'm sure he did something cool, and Gage Freeman, he does so much work and he gets no credit for it. I love you guys so much. Ivan, again, thank you so much. 1-1 El Paso and Phoenix Rising draw, and we'll see you back here next week for more exciting Locomotive football.
Copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.